Yo guys, Max here. In this video, I want to talk about those situations when you're confused with what girls do, with what girls say, and you don't really know where you stand with them. Girls give you mixed signals and you're not sure whether you should do this or you should do that, and you don't really know how to move to the next step. So in this video, I'm going to help you unmix the mixed signals. And basically in this video, I'm going to make sure that in every single situation that you find yourself in when you are interacting with a girl, you know exactly what to do to move to the next step. So we are here on this idea that whenever a girl is giving you mixed signals, it's kind of your fault because in a sense, you are not assertive enough and you are not leading strongly enough to what you want. You always want to put girls in a situation where they either give you a clear positive or a clear negative. In simple terms, girls should always give you either a clear yes or a clear no. You will see that most of the time anyways, girls hate confrontation, so they will never give you a clear no. Most of the time they will just ghost you instead. But that's what we are looking for here. We are not looking for maybes, we are not looking for dismissive answers. If you really want to get results with girls and, well, remove all the mixed signals from your life and save a lot of time, you have to be more assertive and more direct when you lead your interactions. You have to basically give an ultimatum to girls whenever you're making moves. It's either a clear positive or she ghosts you. But you need that clear answer to know where you stand. And so most guys will not be assertive enough because most guys are afraid that they will get rejected if they make the clear move, if they make the clear ask. But you kind of have to at some point anyways. You're not winning anything by delaying the moment when you're going to make the ask. You're not winning anything by delaying the moment you're going to ask a girl, let's meet tomorrow at 7 p.m. at this place. Because when you make a clear ask like this, for example, either she says yes or she gives you a negative. And by the way, anything that's not a clear positive is a negative. You have objections that you can manage and that you can handle. I will talk more about that later, but that's something entirely different. When a girl gives you an objection, it's more of a positive than a negative anyways. But point is, when you make a clear ask, girls will have to take a clear decision, and that's the situation you're looking for. If you never put girls in this situation where they have to take a decision, well, you're just delaying the inevitable anyways, and you're kind of wasting your time in a sense. But I understand it comes from the fact that when you're talking with a girl, you don't want to risk it, and you don't want to, in a sense, push your luck and risk losing the girl by forcing her to make a decision. But again, you kind of have to, because you're not winning anything by waiting. Delaying the inevitable is not helping you in any way. And so most guys don't try to be clear enough as a way to avoid rejection, and you should do the opposite, because the faster you, in a sense, seek rejection, the more time you're going to save, and the more time you will have to focus on other girls who will like you more. And that's another big thing. Instead of spending so much time on girls who give you mixed signals, go ahead, unmix those signals. And if it's a positive, that's great, you win. If it's a negative, just quickly move on to the next girl. And here, very important, we are on this idea that you should not be talking with girls who don't like you. Whenever you are in an interaction with a girl, it should be obvious that she's attracted to you. And to make it obvious, you have to put her again in situations where she has to take a decision early in the interaction. Basically, you don't want to be talking with a girl for days or weeks, not even sure that she is attracted to you. And that's why so many guys, they end up in the friend zone, because they never make the ask, they never unmix those signals, they never put the girl in an ultimatum kind of situation where she has to clearly state that she's either interested or not interested in the guy. And when you do this, you waste your time. It's just so much simpler to very early in the interaction, and here I'm talking within the first 60 seconds. It's so much easier to just very early make sure that the girl is into you, or at least not into you, but open to the idea to figure out whether or not she's into you. You know what I mean? Like, not every girl is going to show you signs of interest in the first 60 seconds, but girls who are open to consider meeting a guy will show you signs of that in the first 60 seconds. So there too, you have to learn how to calibrate, because if you come in too strong, girls will just not open up and they will go away. But there are ways to put girls in situations where they have to make decisions about whether or not they want to keep talking with you early in the conversation. So, for example, when you start a conversation with a girl, if you start the conversation with a compliment and she goes away, well, you put her in a situation where you clearly showed your interest for her and she had to make a decision. And if she stays, she makes the decision to get to know you a little bit more, to see where this interaction is going. And if she goes away, she made the clear decision to go away because she showed she was not interested in you. So that's a very simple example of how you can unmix those signals. And you see that most guys who are being friendly, they never get the opportunity to be in this situation, because when guys are friendly and when guys try to play it safe, they are just wasting their time. They don't want to lose the girl, they are afraid to lose the girl. So don't do that. So another thing I wanted to talk about is that you should not be afraid to move the interaction forward. You should not be afraid to make clear moves. Guys will think, if I ask things too bluntly, if I get to the point too hard, she will just be afraid, she will be scared, and she will go away. No, no. If she likes you and you move forward, either she's going to say yes or she's going to give you an objection. But she's not going to reject you if she likes you, unless you're being super, super weird, but don't worry about it. Like, most likely, if you are interested in getting better with women, you have enough, I don't know, like street knowledge, and you're able to read the room enough to realize when you're creeping off people. So provided you're not creeping off people, you're not going to be too strong when you make moves. So don't worry about it. Point still stands. Move towards something and put girls in a situation where they have to take a positive or a negative decision. So I realized personally that when I started being more incisive with the way I was leading my interactions, when I started wasting less time on girls who were giving me mixed signals, and when I started calling out more girls who were giving me mixed signals, well, I noticed that my interactions with girls would end way sooner, way quicker. But is it really a bad thing? I don't think so, because like I said, you want to focus on girls who like you. And so it comes down to this thing in a sense. Do you want to be talking with girls to get girls, or do you want to be talking with girls to receive attention in return? Really ask you this question, because for a long while I did not ask myself this question, and this is the question that helped me unlock the next level, because I realized that I was in a sense talking to girls to get validation from them, to get positive reactions from them. But this is a little bit weird, because my goal was to actually get with girls, not to get validation from them. And so while you can get a lot of validation from women by being nice and friendly with them, being friendly with them is not what gets you girlfriends, it's not what gets you dates, and it's not what gets you laid. So that was another big thing for me. I recommend you ask yourself the same question. Am I talking to girls to get girls, or am I talking to girls to have them validate myself? Do you play to win, or do you play to not lose? Another thing I noticed when I started doing this is that a lot of my interactions will literally end within the first 10 seconds. But that's great, that's a good thing. Like, you save time, and then you can quickly move on to the next girl. And so, directly related to that, I realized that since negative interactions with girls who don't like me are so short, All I need to do to better my dating life is to approach more women and specifically focus on those who like me, and specifically make sure that very early in the interaction, I make sure that this girl I'm talking to is attracted to me. And so this is when I had this mindset shift of focusing on leading my interactions with attraction. And this is when I started doing more crazy, non-politically correct shit, like for example, approaching girls by grabbing their wrists and making them spin, stuff like that. Like, you tell random people to approach girls by touching their arm, everyone is going to call you crazy. But when you know what you're doing and you know the purpose of doing that, when you know that you are being physical and you're leading with attraction, to screen for girls who actually like you back very early in the conversation, it makes sense. So it's a little bit more advanced, but consider doing it. Or at the very least, consider figuring out very early in your interactions whether or not this girl you're talking to is open to meet a guy, and if not attracted to you, open to see where things are going with you. When you understand this, it becomes all about meeting more girls and focusing very early on discovering whether or not she's open for more. So this is, by the way, how you get like instant makeouts. This is how you meet a girl in the club and 5 to 10 minutes later you're pulling her home, because you're focusing on very early in the interaction, figuring out whether or not she likes you, and if she doesn't, no big deal, you're moving on to the next. But again, you don't need to spend forever to find if girls like you. Like most women, within the first 10 seconds, they will know whether or not they are open to continue this interaction with you in a flirtatious way. So it was a very important shift for me. Which brings me to my next point. Another big mindset shift that I had was to focus on not trying harder with girls, but trying longer with girls who like me. Instead of trying harder with girls who did not like me, I learned to instead be more focused on girls who like me, but be more patient with them. And so this helped me look for more than signs of interest, because you will see that some girls will kind of pretend that they like you just to get attention from you, just to get free meals from you, free drinks from you, or whatever. Like, some girls know they are pretty, know they are attractive, and they will play with it to, well, kind of tool you in a sense. Some other girls, though, will not show you a lot of attention, will not show you a lot of interest, while actually they are very, very into you. And so when you understand that you have to be more patient, but also that you know that you have to unmix the mixed signals that you receive, it helps you get those girls who are actually shy girls, but who really, really like you. So at the end, it's all about making sure you do as good as you can when you start your conversations, to make sure that those girls you talk to, they are attracted to you and not wasting your time. The best way I've found to do that is to follow a system. So if you're interested, you can check the PDF guide I will put right below this video. This is the system I follow. You can go check it out. And on top of having a system, it's just about trying to follow it as best as you can, and while doing some trial and error. The more you do it, the more you practice this system with the right mindsets, the more you're gonna get, well, good at it, and the better your dating life is going to be. It's as simple as that. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If that was useful to you, consider subscribing, and I will see you guys next time.